Hey everybody, Pete A. Turner from the Break It Down Show. Hey, today's special. Today's our 200th episode, and we love you guys for being there with us and coming along this journey. We've had generals. We're about to put up a Nobel Peace Prize winner. We've had world-class athletes, performers, warriors, all kinds of people. And it's really fantastic that you've all been there with us along the way. I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you to Jay for everything he's done for us. He's our guest today. We also have Geoff Calhoun sitting in, and just thank you very much and enjoy the show.
Laker fans, stand up. You finally have a podcast that represents you. Make sure you check out Lakers Reign podcast with yours truly, Nick Hamilton. Every week, we have the latest news on the purple and gold and what's going down on the court.
This is Mick Gillette.
This is Jay Mohr.
This is Greg Proops.
This is Gabby Reese.
This is Nate Boyer.
This is Hilliard Guest.
This is Nathan
This
East.
is Rob Bell.
This is J.R. Robinson.
This is Dan Stone.
This is Dr. Bob Greenberg.
Hey, this is John Leon Guerrero.
Hey, I'm Mark Valley.
Hey, and this is Pete A. Turner.
I'm Jay Mohr. I like the Break It Down Show. Break It Down Show. Pete, John, let's do it.
And now, the Break It Down Show with John Leon Guerrero, Mark Valley, and Pete A. Turner.
Yeah, big special day for us. We appreciate you coming on. You've meant so much to our show, and part of the reason why we wanted to have you on as we turned 200 in terms of episodes was to properly thank you, publicly recognize your contribution to our show. We would not be where we are at, and we cannot believe how far we've come. And we tried to do all this stuff in a way that makes sense, but life just throws things to you, opportunities, things that you have to overcome, and you
Me never confirming a date or time to do this podcast.
whatever we get by things. Hey, look, I'm
bummed I'm not talking to John as well, because I love him.
But we're going to do another one. And here's the thing about yesterday when we tried to work things out, I didn't get shot at by anybody. So whatever the worst day of my life is, like, that's nowhere near it. You know, it's all good.
And we got Geoff, right? You have Geoff here.
Geoff Calhoun, who's a client, but also someone who I respect. You know, one of the things we do here on the Break It Down show is we encourage people to create, and that's actually your business. You write scripts, but you also help people write scripts.
Yep.
So this is a really fantastic day.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty
Really?
awesome. Yeah.
What are the odds of that? That Pete put us together. You are a spy.
I am a connector. Yeah.
I'm a uniter, not a divider.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know why my George Bush sounded like Owen Wilson.
That was George Bush?
Oh, that was George
No,
Bush.
it was apparently it wasn't, because it sounded more like Owen Wilson. I'm a uniter, I'm not a divider.
Right.
That's awesome.
And Geoff I met in Detroit. It was a long time ago. I have a frog in my throat now.
You're looking at me like for the payoff to the big bit with the thing in my throat.
What
I
voice
sound like Buzz Williams. Are we playing Thursday? Are we playing Thursday? All the money the NCAA makes, we can't go upstairs and get a hamburger.
Do you want one of these?
There you go.
I
That'll
think they call
work.
it odd.
Yeah, so for sure, John and I, and Mark Valley, who's also a co-host with the show, we just wanted to say
Whatever,
thanks, man.
Mark.
I know, right? Mr. Handsome, Mr. Blonde, Mr. Great Chin.
So hot. Angry.
I know. It's like, he's just like, I cut all my hair off, and you're like, you're still 1,000 times better looking than me, you know?
Yeah, he's got that chiseled Hollywood chin going.
Yeah. And
He's what I look like in my mind right when I ejaculate. Like, oh, yeah. No, I'm not at all. It's just me sweaty.
Randy West in the porn world probably had the best cum face. That guy worked at it. He's like, ooh, 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 like it's a build-up, like a triple thing,
I think
you know?
there's a class for that, isn't there?
There has to be.
Yeah.
And
Really?
Yeah.
What a great thing. What a sketch that you can never put on regular TV.
Right.
I can come. And they overlap with guitar solo face class.
There you go.
Yes.
That's perfect.
And like one guy's in the wrong class, but it
There's
doesn't
some
matter. Like
competition.
that guy's got a great guitar solo face. Funny story.
Right.
Bad
He went to
cleanup, though.
cum face class by mistake. Oh, because he's just going ooh ooh ooh. Yeah, that's
Yes.
Neil Schon, man. That's how he plays.
That's how he
That's why Journey can rock. 'Cause he went to
it.
cum face instead of guitar solo face
Minor
class.
didn't.
Look at Mick Taylor. You know why he's not in the Stones? Didn't go to any classes. Look like Keely Smith, a cigar store Indian up there, man.
What did you think of my comedy bit thing about you reach a certain age where just having sex, no matter how freaky, you know, and I don't know what that age is, but like when you come over to grandma's house and there's like 4 bottles of lube, you're like, you know what? Fuck yeah. Fuck
She's
yeah.
85 years old. Good
Yeah.
for her.
Right.
I liked it a lot. And I realized, as you just said it, that really is at like 70, I would say 75 plus. Just as long as once you break a hip, it's done.
Right.
Remember, that's it.
It's
like
game over.
I'm being like,
Yeah.
well, way to go, serious. But yeah, if I found 4 things of lube
Right.
I'm trying to think when my grandmas both were alive. One I would be way too young to know what it was, and the other one I would have went right on.
Yeah.
See, I probably would have been that curious kid that just started playing with it.
Squirting
With the
everywhere.
lube?
Yeah, because it's new and different.
I feel
what is
so
this?
refreshed.
Is this like a new Play-Doh?
Right.
You know, and I'm like building.
And I like that it's out. Like there's a dildo in the couch that she couldn't find. You're like, what, Grandma? What's this thing? And it's the big old 15-incher. You know, you're like, Jesus, Grandma.
Hey,
Like,
so and so got popped for he's finger blasting like a 17-year-old. You're like, what the fuck? What kind of an animal does it's down the street the 89-year-old? You know what?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You put him in jail?
Yeah. Like he ain't even gonna make it that long. Yeah, exactly. And like as
Can't even do that as a joke with a even I went all the way up to 17.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Well, in Ohio that would be legal.
Ohio. That's like the boonies for you, Ohio. It's a huge
No,
hub of activity and work and blue collar values.
Yeah, that's great. I love Ohio. But as you,
you didn't let me finish.
We're pro Ohio here,
yeah, we're pro, but fuck Indiana. Seriously,
right?
You know what? That might be the one state that I'm comfortable on mic going, fuck Indiana. Jesus, criminy. It's just nothing.
Yeah, my buddy Blake's from Ohio, or Indiana, and he tells the funniest stories about the folks from the southern part and just how back in time it is.
What border is it on the south?
Kentucky.
Well, you know it's bad when
Like
you
Lexington?
forget
You're right.
that Indiana's a state. You know, that's when you go, yeah, okay, that's a problem.
Who asked you, though? Fucking Jeff, right? It's like all over our shit.
Fucking Jeff.
What the fuck, Jeff?
God damn it,
Fucking-
Jeff.
Jeff, that's a joke for crying out
Oh,
loud.
man. All right,
Apparently today I'm an exceptional
gonna
actor.
hold
I had
it.
Kevin Farley on the ropes for like 10 minutes. I'm like, what's a big wheel? And he just explained it to me for like 2 minutes. I'm like, when do I tell him? Like, of course I know what a big wheel is.
Yeah, so you had him on an episode of More Stories, and we also got to mention ALP, the American Lakers podcast.
Yeah. Well, you got Lakers Reign, right?
Lakers Reign, yep.
And yeah, it's the official podcast of the Lakers, and that was a big deal for them to put their finger on it.
Yeah.
So I think I was just being vetted for like a month. They wanted to make sure I wasn't going to go like, and this fat motherfucker can't even fucking rebound. Like,
Right.
like that ain't going to happen. But to me, it's just like a corporate gig.
Yeah.
When they go out, like people go like, you corporate? And like, you know very well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, me corporate. I'm Johnny corporate. Rated G, 1 hour, nobody better. That's my word. And my word is born, son.
I saw you corral a bunch of people having a great party during, that thing in New Orleans, and you were able to deal with the back bar was super loud, Jeff, super loud. So even if there was one person back there talking, like the whole...
If I may, real quick.
Yeah,
I mean,
please.
it was in a theater, but whenever the theater's doors, it was by Birdies for Bipolar. Michael
Yeah.
Wellington's great group. He's a pro golfer suffering and living with, actually, I should say, and flourishing with bipolar disorder. So it's a benefit where they give you a shit ton of money, and you're like,
Okay.
I don't know how much you can raise because I know my end of it. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus airfare and hotel. But every time the doors to the theater opened, they were that cuckoo that it affected the show. Like think of the
so
back of a
loud.
1,500 seat
my
theater.
God.
It's like, oh my God, selfies.
And then they're like, let's go see the show.
But only like 1 or 3 at a time.
Yeah.
That sounds
It's
good.
super loud.
It was fun though. It was a good gig, and I met really good people. Lauren and of course Michael. It was yeah. That was a great group of people. Anyway, so yeah, Lakers podcast I'm doing with Aaron Larsoul, who's just turned out to be an absolute rain man of analytics.
So fantastic with that. And the use of the analytics now in basketball emerging, like out of zone rebounds, all these things that, you just can't see. The numbers were just
Situational point guard versus functional point guard. Because Aaron was writing down in the dry erase board who's the backup point guard, and we went to the game in Phoenix last Sunday, and I'm like, apparently it's Jordan fucking Clarkson, and I'm okay with that. He goes, but
Yeah.
it doesn't pass. I go, I don't care.
Yeah.
He's running the show. He brings it up like it's a shoot first point guard, and I got a point guard that can't pass and a point guard that can't shoot.
What do you think about where
Great.
the Lakers are right now? I mean, we don't expect them to get 50 wins. That would be too much. But what do you think about in general?
Well, there's like 3 teams you expect for 50 wins, right?
Yeah, right,
There's a high watermark there.
But
So-
the fans get all crazy. Like show me a Bears fan that doesn't think the Bears are going to win the Super Bowl every year.
Most of them actually,
Yeah.
it's worse. Like they don't expect. Yeah, it's funny you said Bears. I got strong opinions about them. I think they're gonna be okay. The Lakers fans, I don't know if you've noticed this since you've been doing. My answer is if you finish 500 this year, it's like manna from heaven.
Right.
It's an 82-game science experiment,
Yeah.
like last year was, and it's the only time I think in sports history where a team is afforded that 2-year luxury because there's been that huge changing in the guard. Jim Buss is out, Mitch Kupchak is out, Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka are in, and they get A+ from me because that great expression, I believe it's the Buddha. It's either the Buddha or Chevy Chase. Well, I should have said the quote first. When sitting, sit. When standing, stand. Above all, never wobble.
Yeah.
And they didn't wobble. It's about clearing the books for 2018 and 2019. So you have to get a guy like KCP, Katavius Caldwell-Pope, to agree to 1 year.
Yeah.
And hope his value skyrockets. Better start filling that up from 3, my man. And they drafted exceptionally well. They flipped Lou Williams for a first-round pick, which became Kyle Kuzma. They unloaded Mozgov's contract. And people, LA fans, I've learned, have, not Lakers specific, just Los Angeles, are just like Sybil. Like you shit-talk D'Angelo Russell for 2 years, and then you trade him, and you take $48 million.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson would be shot behind Oracle Arena if the Warriors would get $48 million.
Yeah.
$48 million.
It's a lot.
Like, what about D'Angelo? Can you imagine if we had him and Lonzo? Well, that's not what's happening. Like, how about we realize what happened? And it's a positive. So I think the team is obvious, and I say it like it is on the podcast. I don't like just blow them because it's the official podcast of the Lakers. They are underperforming, but it's because the shots aren't falling. And the good news is for Lakers fans, shots fall. They fall.
Right.
It's like when you play softball.
Yeah.
Hit the cutoff man.
Yeah.
You don't tell anybody like to hit. The runs will come.
Yeah.
You're gonna just rope a ball with guys with the bases loaded. But when you don't hit the cutoff man, you fuck this whole thing up. You're rocketing a ball to the backstop. It misses.
Right.
And then the guy on first goes, I'll just jog around. This is easy. It's in the parking lot, the ball. So the shots will fall. And I think they shot 47% from 3 in Phoenix, but they shot 47 from 2 as well, which is no bueno.
Lonzo
so I think
Ball
it's
didn't-
good.
Yeah, he didn't forget how to shoot. You know, it takes time. I remember when Brian Urlacher, speaking of the Bears, came into the league. He's like, you guys are going to have to give me a minute. You're going to have to give me a minute. This game's way faster than what I played in New Mexico. You know,
I didn't know that. He said that.
he openly
'Cause
said,
he
he's
returned
like,
punts and shit at New Mexico.
he did it all.
He was a Lobo?
Yeah, he was a Lobo, and he was
crazy.
yeah, he's a free
Like
safety.
Jim Thorpe.
Yeah, you're no longer a safety. Now you're, middle linebacker. And he's
That's
like,
a big safety. Jesus.
right, exactly. But he was super fast. He's like, just give me a minute. And he did. He needed a minute. And as long as you could have, a standard thing, you have a fat guy playing tackle, tying a couple of guys up, it frees up him, it frees up Ray Lewis, all those guys, but they need time to get to that level. And I'm positive that Lonzo Ball, and if it doesn't work, then it just was never going to happen. But if we give him time to figure it out, he's going to be fine.
He is fine right now. Like if this is what it is, and it never gets any more than this, then what you have is a pass-first point guard. And if you're not a sports fan, just hang in there. We'll get on to something else quickly. If you're not, you have a pass-first point guard who's just had his 20th birthday, and I'm never using that as an excuse because I was all over Brandon Ingram at the beginning of this year. Like, I'm so sick and tired of potential.
Yeah.
And just like, no, potential is a dirty, dirty word in 2 spots, show business and in athletics.
Yeah.
Bernie Williams never had it. Gerald Williams retired with it. That's it. Remember Gerald Williams, center fielder for the Yankees? It's like, he's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Bernie Williams just showed up, number 51. He's like the most graceful, beautiful ball player of all time. Talk about the Hall of Very Good.
Yeah.
And so, like LeBron was fucking 18. Darryl Dawkins, like guys come out of fucking high school and they just did it. Like LL Cool J. When I show up, I blow up. End the story, my man.
He's going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think, this year.
Well, he played a lot of rock and roll, so good for him.
Well, if you look at rap,
make it be the music Hall of Fame then.
Why isn't rap rock and roll?
Because it's not rock and roll off the top of my head.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll give you an example why. Anti-establishment, the shit that terrifies your parents. That's rock and roll. When Chris,
Then it's like Public Enemy, then certainly yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just want to be a jerk.
Yeah.
The whole Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is deplorable. Like the people that get in, the people that have to wait. I don't even know if it's politics. I just think they're idiots.
There is a formula. Like Bon Jovi's nominated this year, so they're going to get in, and they're the headlining act.
If you don't think Bon Jovi should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, just listen to their first track on their listen to Runaway.
Yeah.
It's over. They came in and it was over.
I'm glad you said that.
Runaway.
My little hometown, Benicia, California, they filmed a video in our hometown. It's still a big deal there now.
Yeah.
And they were just about to crack, right? Like that song the fire was lit at that point. So we super love all of the Bon Jovi stuff.
Well, that plays to the potential thing too, Jeff. Like, I'll circle Jeff in here because I don't want him to feel excluded, and I like you. Like Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love. Like, that's a rap. Got it. That's how they entered the business. Like Coldplay takes a lot of shit, including from me.
Yeah.
Because when I saw them at the Hollywood Bowl, I'm like, is this one long song or has this been 8 songs?
Well, I was wondering if the artists actually have to lobby to get in.
Of course you do. You have to pay for your own Walk of Fame star.
Yeah.
You have to lobby.
That's
if I wanted an Emmy nomination, I have to notify the Academy my submission for them. I never knew that until I wanted to be nominated.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, great, put together a package and send us a check for fucking, how much is it, Corey? It's like $10,000.
Yeah.
Like, you can be, I'm like, gee, so that means Kelsey Grammer, every year, somebody or an assistant of his put together, like he won 8 in a row. Like, bro, how much attention do you need?
Do you ever think it's like, hey, we're a little short on whatever, like end of the line, and all Grammy winners are great.
Well,
but like, you know, that it's like best key lighter, you know, or something like that. Like, we're really short and no one's going to pay money. So they just like throw some charity ones out and it's in the bag for Kelsey Grammer because he just pays the check every year.
yes.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, look at the Oscars. Like, there's 4 sound awards. It's like, who the fuck? How do you not? Like, obviously, like, we have good friends that do, you know, composing.
Yeah.
But it's just like there's best score, best original score, best adapted score, best sound editing, best sound editing based on a teleplay. Like, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, that's every year where the Oscars just go.
Yeah, it gets really
Because as a viewer, you can't conceptualize. You're getting an award for oral, A-U-R-A-L, delights.
Right.
You know what? He's 84. Let him have his oral delights.
You know what? He likes
As long
sucking
as he doesn't
dicks.
break a hip.
What can he do? He loves penis in his mouth.
We'll give him an Oscar.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? Let's do it. Let's give him an Oscar.
let's
He
do
likes
it.
the cock.
Yeah.
I like that you said penis, like he didn't want to bother us.
I'm trying to say it like a Texan, like penis. Like, you know, if I have a bunch of penis in my hand and I got a cup full of ass, my day is
What
all
does that
set.
make?
Well, I don't know if Jeff's serious or not, but what it makes, Jeff, is a little delightful afternoon. a handful of penis. Now, that's more than one now, because we're not northern where penis is.
Right. Yeah.
A handful of penis. Like, that's school of fish, not fishes.
Right.
And, of course, a cup full of ass.
Yeah.
Now, this is a cup full now, Jeffrey, with a G. A cup full of ass. What's that all add up to? Ejaculate. Speaking of ejaculate, where's my ejaculate jacket? Because I'm not doing too good in the department. I just did the entire fucking southern seaboard all the way through Odessa.
You did the Gulf Coast. Gulf.
Yeah. I was like, Savannah with no R's.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing.
We one night we were out had drinking and having some fun, and we were doing our Texas accent. Like, I just can't stop putting enough penis in my mouth. And then I'm like, I'm going to make up a drink right now with my Texas accent. So I'm like, hey, lady, doll, I'd like to have a little bit of Maker's mayonnaise. And she looked, she's like, oh, we don't have mayonnaise. But that became a drink that night, and we got dudes fired up, and we kept talking like Texans the whole night. And so these young
Maker's
guys,
mayonnaise?
Maker's mayonnaise. You've had Maker's
Do
mayonnaise.
you think it's because, I'll ask Jeff this, and I want you to actually have the floor. Do you think it's because that mob mentality, which we know so well, but when it's a made-up drink that Pete makes up just to be a goof, and guys are actually like, oh, I want to.
Oh, yeah.
Is that just like you don't want to be left out and not be cool?
Yeah, I think we get any more than like 3 guys together, then automatically becomes this thing where everybody has to just follow the leader.
Remember in high school, you'd be like, hey, you ever hear that band Green Wall? They're good. And your buddy would go, yeah, like I just made it up, stupid. Like, no. And then that guy would have to triple down. You're like, no, there is a band. You're an idiot. There is a band, Green Wall. And they are really good. You're like, no, I know. No, I made that up. Yep. You go around all day.
And then you're like, let's ask Lenny. Lenny's got the black T-shirt on. He's like, there is. You know, they're playing at the snowshoe tonight.
But I want to ask Lemmy. I want to go to high school. How'd you like to be in high school with Lemmy? Lemmy's mole in the chair next to him.
How long does Lemmy actually stay in high school?
He's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, is he?
John Bon Jovi's not in the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
That's worse.
How the fuck can that happen?
Yeah. So I mean, it's all kooky.
Yeah. You know, back to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too. Like they'll do a big act to headline. You know, Chili Peppers, Green Day, that kind of thing. But they'll also do a female act. So because they have to represent that. So this year, Kate Bush is nominated. You know, and they've done a couple things. Janet Jackson's been nominated and somehow didn't get in. So I think there's like a pace. So
How
like,
does Janet Jackson not get in?
right?
How was
like,
Kate Bush nominated?
Yeah,
She
well,
doesn't
That's
fly.
just- wow.
I won't
Like
fly.
nobody even knows.
Yeah.
Kate, you like Kate Bush though. You know, Mike in Fresno digs Kate Bush.
Does he really?
He sent me Kate Bush, Peter Gabriel, some song.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even listen to it. Because it was Kate Bush, and I didn't want to bring down Peter Gabriel.
Well, it's like Linda
Yeah,
Ronstadt.
Peter Gabriel's amazing. Okay, sorry.
There you go. The mic cover looks like Bert's nose.
Yeah.
It really does.
Ernie, what were we going to say, sweetie?
That's fine. Nothing.
Actually, I have
No, I don't.
No, it's okay, Jay. You
Rock-
can have the floor.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And so they do pace it out, and now they're adding a hip hop act. So LL goes in this year because he's nominated. I'm just going to predict it because I know the corporate culture. John Bon Jovi
Well, excuse us.
is going to get in because they're
We're
the closing
underground,
act.
man.
I'm curious.
The Eurythmics get in because they represent the 80s and females, and then the fucking Eurythmics.
I mean, they're
and
the
really good.
Eurythmics, right?
Yeah.
How
But they are still waiting. Yeah, like
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, what's your favorite band or singer or artist?
Jane's Addiction hit me at the age I needed to be hit the way I needed to be hit.
Yeah.
So I was like 19, and all of a sudden it was all treble.
Yeah.
That one little subliminal, hey, you.
Yeah.
In Summertime Rolls, and the opening song, like Up the Beach off Nothing Shocking. I'm like, is he playing this backwards? Like, what the fuck? So Jane's Addiction is my favorite band, but I'm well aware of the fact, like, the Beatles are my actual
Are they?
favorite. It's the Beatles.
Was it the Beatles then, or did you kind of get older and kind of grow into the Beatles?
You're a smart man, Geoff Calhoun. Now, Geoff Calhoun raised the point. I yield my time to the senator from Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit.
I was one of those guys that would ask Beatles or Stones, and then I saw Paul McCartney at the Super Bowl in Jacksonville, which I think was Patriots-Eagles? Yeah, Patriots-Eagles. The only time as an adult I've ever been afraid for my safety, ever in my adulthood.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was me and Barry Katz, my manager, man. And it was Eagles fans like yelling at cops, fuck you.
No way.
You motherfucker. You
Yeah.
N-word cop. Fuck. I'm like,
Wow.
if a fight breaks out, it's me. Because it's me, Katz, and our wives. So if it's like me and you or me and Jeff, it'd be like, all right, with a little game planning.
Yeah.
Like, we're cool.
Right.
We know how to like, not get involved.
Yeah.
But if we have to, if we get dragged in just quick, I'm like, I could die here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
But I saw Paul McCartney on that halftime show, and he kicked me in my fucking guts, man. And I was never a big Beatles guy. I was all in on the Stones.
Mm-hmm.
And he did Get Back. And that's Billy Preston on vocals. But Paul, and as I'm watching this exceptional man who I'd kind of shit-talked my whole life by omission, I'm like, how is he going to match at whatever? You know, good for him. He's 70.
Yeah.
He can have sex with a lady with a wooden leg.
There
You
you
know
go.
what? He's 70 years old. Good
That's
for,
it.
good for him.
It's all
right.
Good for him.
Keep his
Yeah.
hips together.
Hey, God bless.
Yeah. God bless.
I'm like, how's he going to get back? How's he going to hit Billy? He went the other way.
Yeah.
And came in so underneath the earth. It came up through the earth's core into my gut. Get back. Get back. And I went, oh, like it fucking, look at, I'm getting like,
Yeah.
my
See,
eye,
yes.
like,
Yeah.
it fucking shook me awake.
That's awesome.
And that's never happened to me before, where it's like, whatever, oh my. There's always a little bit of hype you bring with you. There's a little bit of anticipation.
Yeah.
It's like seeing a no-hitter. You bring no angst with you.
Right.
And it unfolds in front of you. And when he just went, get back, I went, oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I came to it late in life. And then I got to dive into the catalog as an adult.
And you probably appreciate it more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, when you get those moments where you see something like that, where you're like completely present in your body and life at that moment, I mean, that's beauty. That's being alive.
The White Album is like, there's no kind of music that's not represented. You know, if you start at like Helter Skelter, which is one of the best punk songs of all time.
Ever. Right.
That opening guitar that's punk. Like Stiff Little Fingers, Minor Threat, Bad Brains, they can't hold a candle to that.
Yeah. Well, plus they're 15 years late to the party.
15.
Right.
Yeah. 115 years late. But you know what makes it so wonky? You and I talked about this on the on More Stories. He taught John to play bass that day. Wow. And you can go on YouTube, you can isolate John Lennon's bass. It's awful.
Yeah.
And that's the wonky wheel in the shopping cart where you're like, something's not right with this. I'm uncomfortable here. And it's because if you just listen to bass, like, it's awful. And he knew it. Like, he was that much of a genius. It wouldn't be a podcast if it wasn't dropping shit, huh, Corey? Good God. So, yeah, I dig the Beatles. I love the Stones. I really like all the standards, the American Songbook. Yeah.
There's room for all that stuff, though.
Black Crowes. I love the Black
Yeah.
Crowes. Yeah. Who? U2. I love U2.
U2 is just, that would be one of my favorite bands. Joshua Tree. All the
Springsteen.
way.
I love, and I think he gets a bad rap because of his voice, and people just go, why? Because he's from Jersey? It's like, no, because he's what people told me Dylan was their whole life.
What does Bruce...
Together, Wendy, we can live with the sadness. I'll love you with all the madness in my soul. Why would you ever write another sentence after that?
Yeah.
And that was like Born to Run.
Yeah. Bruce is essentially an age period with Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan's a little older, but not that much. You watch the two of those guys perform.
Only one of them performs, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, live. You see Dylan live, he's not performing.
Right, he doesn't
Springsteen
care.
crushes it every time.
Or like Eric Clapton is wonderful, but he stands still, closes his eyes, and plays the songs. I mean, he's not going to do that whole lot much longer. And then you have the boss running around like he's 12, sliding on his knees.
Maybe that's why people hate him, too.
Just because he's killing
People
it.
hate Tom Brady.
Right.
It's just because he's won at life.
Why do people hate Bono? What is it about Bono? All the great things he's done. Why do the people not only hate Bono, but they hate you too as well? Because we all love you too.
Well, I do a bit about it, as you know.
Yeah, right.
It's, and thank you for the layup here. Let me flush this. Clack, chock full of nuts. And people go like, you two, they're just so pretentious. Well, when you erase a third of a continent's debt, you
Right.
kind of outrun your pretension.
Yeah.
Like, you're not pretentious if you actually took a third of Africa's debt off the books by going to the United States Senate floor, arguing your case, dressed as Bono.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bono always looks like he's about to cry and fall over. He's always like, all right, just last year, what do you say, the edge? 40 million Africans, we're starved to death. And you're in the upper deck with your buddies going, I just had 4 mushroom caps in the parking lot. I do not like this song. Like, what the fuck tune is this?
Yeah.
There's like a slideshow of people starving
Right.
and kids with bugs in their eyes. Like, bro, Bono wants to feed us and put bugs in our eyes. I'm confused.
Yeah.
There's like a slideshow. There's a halftime of every show where they preach. But that was great about the shows at the Rose Bowl that you and I saw.
So good.
There was no preaching at all. It was almost like Bullet the Blue Sky was sort of like almost like we have to play it.
Yeah, it's on
and
the
there's-
album.
And their video montage, I thought, very consciously sort of steered away from the executive branch and more towards like Central America.
Yeah.
Which is what it was. Its intent. Outside is America.
Yeah.
Outside is America. What a fucking... Oh!
Yeah.
Please play that right here.
Yeah.
A live version.
Listen, we've talked a little bit about The Edge, and I just watched It Might Get Loud again the other day.
He had no business being in that doc, man.
I think it's fantastic.
It is
It's
fantastic, but
Such
he
a
looks like
different
a
approach.
dick. And I love The Edge.
Every quote that they use to open a segment is one of his, though. Like he does, and then that when he pulls these sounds out, no one's ever played the guitar this way.
That's correct. And there's like 5 guitarists that the moment you hear them, you go, oh, that's Steve Ray Vaughan.
Right.
Yeah.
That's Hendrix.
Yep.
That's The Edge.
Yeah.
Like, who else? Like Clapton, you don't go, that's Clapton. People go, yeah. Like, no, you play guitar. You teach guitar at Guitar Center, so you have a weird ear.
Right. Yeah.
Weird meaning I wish I had it. What are other guitarists that you guys can think of? Like, the moment you hear them play. Slash. I'll say Slash.
Jimi Hendrix.
Hendrix, I said, yeah.
Hendrix, yeah.
Navarro, you don't if you love Jane's Addiction, you're like, is this Navarro? Like, when Navarro was in the Chili Peppers,
Right.
you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
This can't possibly work.
It's different.
One of these
for
guys
sure.
is good.
Van Halen or Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, Eddie Van Halen
Yeah,
was the
you
one
can
I
pick
was
him out.
searching for. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's guys like that.
Are
like
they in the
Seth
Rock and Roll
Rollins.
Hall of Fame?
Van Halen made it. Yeah.
Oh, they made it. Like,
They
really?
made
Thanks.
No,
What a bunch
I
of
love
dicks.
Van Halen, but it took them a while. It didn't get they weren't right in.
I mean, that's all you need to know.
Right.
Like, if it's Van Halen.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about Van Halen, not the other one. Like, it's
Right.
fucking Van Halen.
Not Van Hagar,
Don't
not
even
Van
ask.
Sharon.
Yeah.
No.
Little girl from Cherry Lawn. How could name checking fucking Cherry Lawn, California, and Harvard teacher? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Me and Rob Wrigley used to talk about this on Gary Unmarried, like, between takes all the time. Like, you take the most basic, like Aerosmith. Andy Richter said to me, we were working on Seeing Other People, like, all their songs could be done on vaudeville. And I went, oh, no. You never should have. Because G.E. Smith, let me drop a couple more names here.
Yeah.
said, I go, it sounds like the same song. He goes, it is. Watch this. And he put my finger on the neck of his guitar. And he went, went crazy, crying, angel. I went, oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Aerosmith.
Super formulaic, but you know what? When you got a great formula, like if you make the best Eggs Benedict in the world, you keep making that shit.
Yeah.
Welcome to Pete's Eggs Benedict.
Right.
So with Van Halen, it's like Hot for Teacher. Like everything's kind of like feel good, like, you know, backyard party. But there's always, as Rob Riggle, I'll never forget, it's a thing he did with his tongue, which I can't do. Like there's a dirt under the nails. There's a grime to it with Hot for Teacher. I did not know that golden rule.
Have we ever talked about
Nope.
what are they called? I think they're called Metalachi. They take songs like Hot for Teacher, but they do it mariachi hard rock style.
No way.
How do you feel about that? Because it's always like, you know, Dread Zeppelin. It's like take all Zeppelin songs and they make it reggae.
Yeah.
I dig it, but is
only-
there room for more than one mariachi heavy metal song
it's
band?
It's a little Richard Cheesy, but Richard Cheese does make money going around the nation being Richard Cheese. So
you don't need a second one.
You gotta
No,
have
you don't.
competition, right? Drive the rates down. You gotta have competition and drive the rates down.
If you're the booker.
yeah.
But as a listener, I just want Richard Cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a gimmick, and it is short lived. But when they do it so well. Kind of like Natalie Dawn and her husband when they would do their songs. You're like, oh god damn these videos, and you guys are so cute watching her husband Jack play. You're like, you have to love what Pamplemousse does. Like you can't help it. So if they can hit that mark, I have more room for Metalachi. But if they don't, then no thanks.
Here's this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and on the website for rockhall.com. Vote for up to 5 nominees.
Right now.
Bon Jovi, Kate Bush, The Cars.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm going to put them in over I can't. Hold on. Sorry.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi, Kate Bush, The Cars, Depeche Mode. Judas Priest isn't in yet. Jay Giles Band, Eurythmics, Dire Straits, LL Cool J, the MC5. And they put apostrophe S. The MC5s? Oh, no, it's the MC. Oh, I apologize. I need glasses, I think.
That's all right.
The Meters.
Yep.
Moody Blues, Radiohead, Rage Against the Machine, Rufus featuring Shaka Khan, Nina Simone, The Zombies, Link Ray, and Sister Rosetta Tharpe. Now, 4 of these people have been dead a really fucking long time.
Right.
So thanks for the hookup.
Right. Like that's Jay Giles going, fuck you. You know? Kenny Stabler going, thanks a fucking lot. Jesus
Unbelievable.
goddamn Christ.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's the snake.
How about Ron Santo? Like now he goes in, now that he's dead?
He's not a Hall of Famer,
Well,
period.
no,
he had both his legs.
yeah.
You even bring him. He's Roger Maris. Roger Maris is better than Santo. Don't even fucking give me a look. Roger Maris was a better ball player than Ron Santo.
Ron Santo,
He was very cubby. He was very Cubs.
No, he's great. He's funny, if nothing else. He had 3 toupees, and the last one was called his Gamer. That shit alone is fucking hilarious, and that thing lit on fire. And it was fun.
What?
Yeah. No, his
Greg
work
Gumbel's
in the
got 3.
booth-
He's got one where he needs a haircut. He's a genius. Who do you immediately remove from this list? 2 now without thinking. I'll ask Geoff Calhoun here. Jesus, Jeff.
Well, I don't even know.
You are a writer.
I would say Moody Blues and
You taking them out?
yeah,
I hate the Moody Blues,
and the
but
Cars.
they should have been in already, I think. I'm taking the Cars out as
I'd
well.
take the Cars out.
Yeah.
You're going to take them out before, well, the answer is yes, because you just said it. Who do you take out, Petey?
Link Ray has one song. It's fucking cool as hell, but he's
I
got
don't know
one
who that
song.
is.
You know the song, but who even cares? MC5 is there to balance out the LL Cool J one, so that's out.
MC5 should be in, period.
They both should be in, yes, but you're only going to get one.
You got 2 bands here that got famous covering MC5, Rage Against the Machine. Kick
Right.
out the jams.
Yeah.
I mean, they got famous in their own right. They're
Right.
tremendous.
Yeah, Rages.
So if you put it in perspective, Rage Against the Machine just happened.
Yeah.
And you're looking at like the Moody Blues that were on radio when we were in
And the
grammar
Zombies.
school.
The Zombies, same thing.
Please are up
Yes.
there. I mean,
I think they're Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, but I think
absolutely.
you get to remove rock and roll from the title and call it the Music Hall of Fame. And Kate Bush she could buy a fucking ticket with me.
Yeah,
Kate Bush? Does anybody think of her as a Hall of Famer?
not really, but I don't think
Hey,
Linda
she was a Hall of
Ronstadt
Fame
is
piece
Hall
of
Fame.
ass. No, Linda Ronstadt's writing, I put her in, period. Like hard like a wheel, forget it.
And for sure, I mean, she's great.
I'm gay.
That's
Hi, guys.
yeah, that only gets better as you get older. The
The gayness?
Yeah, why not?
Or Linda.
Rage Against the Machine and Radiohead both can't go in this year because that's just too much. You only get 5
Why?
people to put it because it's not
opposite ends. There's no way Radiohead is not getting in if they're on the ballot.
They're the same era.
It's like a People's Choice Award. You're only nominated because you're getting it.
No, but they don't. Only 5 go in.
I could see Radiohead going in.
Because one of those 2 is not getting in.
Why that? Why?
And Depeche Mode and Eurythmics both can't go in because they represent the same demo.
Oh my God, that's.
I don't think you're correct.
That's all right.
Judas Priest. It's just this is.
I mean, I
not
like
a chance.
Depeche Mode, but I go Eurythmics any day of the week. I mean, that's.
Reach out and touch faith.
And they do because they have the women vote. Because who's the other women? Kate Bush.
Let's stop this sham.
But that's how it
that
goes.
You think like, well, the women voters and the women vote and the 80. It's just people in a room moving a fucking stack of chips to one end of the table.
They're trying to
decide
sell
stuff.
something, you know. And
They're trying to sell the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so that's why they're like, we got to do a woman, we got to elect a woman.
If you want and I am interrupting a lot, but if you want a demographic of 18 to 35 people that buy, because that's what everything in show business is, you don't give a shit if the Jay Giles band goes into the Rock and Hall of Fame. Then LL Cool J, I just realized, is getting in no matter what.
Yeah,
he's on
getting
TV,
in.
he's fucking LL.
Right.
And you want people to watch it, and they're not going to watch for the Moody Blues because kids don't know who they are.
Right. They don't know their lyrics anymore. They're like, why are we here? You know, Nights in White. Is it White
Nights in White Satin.
Yeah, right.
I was on the radio when I was a child.
Yeah, and the same thing with the zombies. So you recognize them, they get nominated, maybe they get in at some point. But if you look back the last couple of classes, there's a classic headline act. There's a female.
So who headlines this? Bon Jovi, you said, right?
Yeah, Bon Jovi.
I just voted for Rufus, but I just touched it to see if I could see Shaka Khan's boobs in this photo.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Yes.
The Rufus and Shaka Khan photos.
Yes.
She had some big bat fitties.
You know who I want to get in that vein? I want to get Charo on the show.
Because
Charo is super talented.
She was the number 2 flamenco guitarist on earth.
Yeah.
Her entire, and people don't know it.
And she still plays all the time.
That's amazing.
You know what? We need to build
I once said to Charo, you want to make a dollar?
Is that Buddy?
No, that was my Pacino.
Oh, okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. That might have been George Burns almost.
I once met Charo at Kate Bush's house. No bush. Put it down.
Up in Laurel Canyon.
Yeah. Nina Simone.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to do, Nina? I haven't slept in 8 days. Benny Blanco from the Bronx, mixing movies.
What about Depeche Mode?
5 guys on stage, 3 keyboards, no guitar, no drums. What the fuck is going on? No.
How about New Order? They don't
got
do that
a huge
anymore.
following, but no, I don't see them going.
New Order's the same way. They got keyboards, but they also play the fuck out of everything. And those songs are hooked. They're not nominated, but they're fantastic.
I think we're putting a lot of people to sleep because we're nerds.
All right, let's
And I
go
apologize.
Hey, you know, actually, I want to.
Oh, good. Nominee bios, because I don't know who Bon Jovi is.
Right.
Let me read their bio and see if they're worthy of this job.
Brian on keys has the best job in rock and roll because he can be as invisible as you want. He can have a perm and no one cares, but he can also be in one of the greatest bands of all time, all at the same time.
He's good too. Runaway. That's him up top. Brian.
Yeah.
He's got 2 first names. Brian.
Oh yeah, he's like Brian Michael or Brian.
Yeah. Bon Jovi's been nominated before. In 2008, they were nominated.
See, it's time.
The Cars been nominated 3 times.
Oh my God.
Greg Proops has that great thing. Like he went to see the Cars after their first album, and they started with My Best Friend's Girl, and they closed with My Best Friend's Girl because they didn't have enough songs. My best friend's girlfriend.
I saw Eddie Money in Burlington, Vermont, and he
Great show.
played 2 Tickets to Paradise, not once, not twice, but 3 times.
And
I've
did
heard
you-
that before.
Yeah.
Required by the crowd, though.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like they insisted.
I would have gone Shaken too. I saw him at
Oh, yeah.
Six Flags for
He's
free
got
with my
tunes.
mom. It was
Yeah.
great. Yeah, he does. LL Cool J has been nominated 4 times.
No
He's getting
way.
in now.
4
Sorry you had
times?
to wait, bro. MC5. Look at my brother Wayne Kramer holding. All right, sorry. So let's talk about the fact that Break It Down. It's your show. Why am I even fucking talking?
No, I like it.
I put Radiohead in, and then at the last second, I'd call Tom York and go, we just want to know from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you're one of the greatest guitarists on earth, Johnny Greenwood, and he's playing a Mac. What the fuck is wrong with you? He's on stage with a Mac.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's a great guitarist, and he's hot too. That guy's great. He should be in Duran Duran. He's so good looking. He's a John Taylor looking hot guy. Girls on film. What a tune.
Yeah. Your show with Randy Jackson, by the way, was fantastic. I really
That's
loved
all.
it.
Thank you. That's all Corey Fry's editing.
Yeah,
Fry 42.
Corey is
'cause
awesome, too.
I took a long time to find that runway for that big old plane, and it was. Thank you. but that was all Corey's editing. Yo, dog. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he is.
You're a good dude. I really wanted to do this with you and John, and I just...
that shit happens.
It does happen, but that's why we're here now with
Yeah.
Geoff Calhoun.
Yeah, and actually, I was going to say, one of the reasons
You
why
don't know
Jeff
the
is-
Mr. Garrison because you never been fucking your ass. Geoff Calhoun. Was that Kevin Bacon's name in JFK? Geoff Calhoun. You're not a bad looking man, Mr. Garrison.
You are related to the Calhoun that Andrew Jackson wanted to hang, though.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a direct descendant to Quincy Adams' vice president, Calhoun, who helped start the Civil War. So we're very proud.
And isn't he also one of the guys who's like, hey...
His name was John C. Calhoun. I come from a long line of villains, basically.
And isn't John C. Calhoun one of the guys that's like, talk shit about Andy Jackson's wife and he'll go fucking nuts? Because I think he was one of the guys that...
Andrew Jackson did not need help going nuts.
Yeah, he had a bullet in him.
Beat a guy to death with a fucking cane.
If you wanted a caning,
you shoot me, motherfucker, eat this cane.
Yeah.
You're going to suck at the end of this cane like a knot on a baby calf's head.
One of his,
And that's in Congress.
Yes.
yeah. One of his famous lines was that I wish I could have hung Calhoun. I mean, that was one of his big lines.
Here are some quotes from Mr. Calhoun. Beware the wrath of a patient adversary. It's the old Navy SEAL, beware the wrath of, I forget whose quote it is, but I say the Navy SEAL means beware the wrath of a patient man.
Yeah.
I guess it's Calhoun. I didn't know that.
Maybe he was a SEAL.
The surrender of life is nothing to sinking down into These don't make sense. The surrender of life is nothing to sinking down into acknowledgement of inferiority. Does that make nothing?
I don't know. It's not
protection and patriotism.
I can ask him later.
Yeah, ask him when you have your Ouija board out.
Yeah, no worries.
Protection and patriotism are reciprocal. That's a little ominous too.
Yeah.
Okay. What did John C. Calhoun stand for? Google phones. He loved his country, but he also loved his home state of South Carolina. He supported its institution of slavery. Well, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Yeah.
Good dude.
What was that movie where it's got Matthew McConaughey in it, and he's playing the lawyer and the slave ship?
Time to Kill?
Yeah, Time to Kill.
Is it Amistad?
Oh, was he in Amistad?
McConaughey wasn't in Amistad, was he?
Do I have the wrong guy?
Maybe. I don't know. You might have the right guy.
He was playing the lawyer, and then the slaves land there, and they're trying to
That's
get freedom.
Amistad.
Yeah, so...
I didn't know he was in that.
Calhoun's in that.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
He's one of the Senate talking
and
about
then,
how they need to be put into slavery.
And JQA, isn't he the guy that defends him in court? Isn't he?
Adams?
Yeah.
I think so.
Because his dad defended the Shot Heard Around the World guys. And it's like, well, look at me. I'm going to defend these slaves who didn't really steal this shit.
So, yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And they're spot on with him.
By the way, we're talking to Geoff Calhoun, who is absolutely a client of the Break It Down Show, but also he supports what we support. We want you guys to create things, and what Geoff does is he writes screenplays, but more importantly, he helps other people write screenplays. You're helping me. Yep. We've just worked on my 27 points that I have to do, and I can attest, this is 100% true. We sat down late last night, and you're like, quit making this shit so complicated. Tell me 27 parts of your story. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like,
how many?
Work from there. 27 points in a 3-act movie.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
What about a series? Like in your pilot, how many points do you need?
So a pilot is a little bit different because you're doing 5 different acts. So with a pilot, I would do, I wouldn't do 27. I'd probably do like 25-ish.
Like on cable, like a Ray Donovan type pilot.
Yeah.
A half hour.
A half hour? You can do even less.
I don't want to work that hard.
I would say like 20.
20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bang it out.
Yeah, and when you break it down like that on the Break It Down show, it's a lot simpler, and it's work that I can handle. And you and I talked about this. Like, people talk in terms of, I've got to have a strategy, but then there's never like, well, what's the tactic to advance the strategy?
Right.
And then when you start talking about tactics, it gets real uncomfortable because tactics are tough. Like, how do you know where to step? So you're like, well, let's talk about the end point and the goals. It's like, no, wait, hold on. Here's the tactic. Break this thing down into 27 pieces. And then get small from there and work on those things and improve it. And then as you go along, you're advancing on your journey towards writing the screenplay or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a client the other day who, because we give away a free 15-minute consultation. Anybody can make an appointment, and we talk to them. And so I was with this gentleman, and, he was like, I don't even know where to start. I have all these ideas. I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
And I brought him down, and I said, okay, let's just, what is your end result? What is your character? Where are we going? And then we worked on like you said, the step outline, which is, 9 points per act. You do 9 points for your setup of Act 1, and then 9 of your Act 2,
So
which is your conflict.
yeah.
And,
What did you say? What is your end goal?
yeah.
What if, because the thing I'm doing, whatever, what if there is no end goal and that's the ellipses that is the actual character? Because they have to stay in motion because they don't want to face
There was shock.
reality. So they just keep going and going and going and going.
So I would just say, look at your character and find out what you're trying to say through your character, and then I would use that to motivate the direction of the story.
What am I saying through my character to the audience from my character?
Yeah, because our writing screenplays are basically, we're talking about elements of humanity, right? So whatever you want to pass through your story as far as humanity goes. So is this a story about a guy that's trying to better himself? Is this a story about a guy that's trying to
He doesn't know.
he doesn't know?
He can't because
So
he
it's
has to be
about
still.
someone lost.
Oh, he's lost. He's fucked.
That's
And
great.
he can't stop. He can't slow down because he'd have to face everything. Like his wife wants him to kind of dial it in because of all the things he can't dial it in.
Yeah. So with somebody that's lost like that, obviously you start them out living in that moment of
Okay, so far so good, Corey.
being lost, and then you're going to build in towards direction. I mean, characters have to go through a path of change. That doesn't mean they have to become better people. They just have to go through change, and it has to reflect in a way that the audience would understand, because we want to speak to other people and what they've gone through. So people identify with being lost, which I think that's actually a really great subject matter to speak about. So we show the guy being lost, or the girl, whatever your character is, they're lost, and then something happens in their life early on that shows he has to have some kind of a direction, or something that challenges the way he's living right now. And then we take it towards that direction, and we slowly build through that. And then towards the end of the story, what you can have is he or she realizes that they have been lost, and they have to change, and they have to become someone different. The typical ending is that they change and they walk away a better person. Or you can have the ending where they realize they can't change, and that's even more tragic, because now he's aware that he's lost, whereas in the beginning of the story they don't know they're lost. There's a great film that came out with Young Adult with Charlize Theron.
I love that movie. I read it, and I read for it knowing full well I was not getting it. Because it was, and I did really well. And I mean, when you know you did well, you just know you did well.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where I'm like, and I believe it was Patton Oswalt. And I'm like, then I never had a fucking chance.
Yeah.
If he was on the radar, it was a fucking charade of me even being in there.
Yeah.
He was great. But go ahead.
I mean, I bet you would have crushed that part. But in that, the character, right? She realizes she has to be a better person, right? And so she goes through that whole arc, and towards the end, she has that moment of, I can become a better person, and then she refuses that call, and she says, no, I'm going to go back to the way I was, and in fact, even worse, because she steals someone else's work on top of it. So,
talk about an audience being able to identify with something. That's humanity.
That's humanity.
Settling.
Exactly. And so you can build that into your character. It doesn't have to be the classic ending of, look at him, he's found his way in life and he's amazing, and we're so happy for him. No, he's realized that he can't have direction for whatever reason, and now he's aware of it, and now it's a tragedy, right? Which is classic Greek mythology, right?
Yeah.
And that could be a beautiful story.
WeFixYourScript.com, 15 minutes of consultation, like you just heard.
Let me tell you something. That's more important than anything I'm here for.
Yeah.
And I'm being serious.
100%.
WeFixYourScript.com. That's Jeff's thing. And how much is it?
It's 15 minutes free.
Free.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to be Mr. Business Model here, but,
Yeah.
It's like crack cocaine. You give them the first one free.
First one's free, buddy.
Second one is $8,422.06. Not
definitely-
$5, motherfucker.
This is
Definitely not that
reasonable.
much.
Yeah. No, and all the prices actually are listed on there.
Yeah,
yeah.
good. I'm excited about that. I'm
Yeah.
excited to talk to you about what I got to talk to you about.
Thank you. This was fun.
Yeah, it's super cool what you do. And like you said, we want people to create things. So if you've felt like I have this barrier and I'm not sure what that's what Geoff is for. He will answer some of your questions and go get to work, go get to writing and create something special, because we will. I promise you, if you write your screenplay, I promise you we're going to feature you on the show. We'll do it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I got to circle back to Amistad because I didn't even know McConaughey was in it.
I'm pretty sure he was.
No, he was. I looked it up.
Oh, nice.
But the decora, and this is my problem with Amistad.
Mm-hmm.
The decora is shown under sail, making really good forward speed. It's cooking like at 8 knots back then.
Right.
It's hypers. But I'm sorry, but her main sail is backwinded.